This webinar will guide first-time users of the Microchip PICkit 4 through the steps necessary to set up the in-circuit debugger ready for use. Before you begin, ensure you have installed version 4.15 or later of the MPLAB X IDE. Now connect a USB cable from your host PC to the PICkit 4. This allows communication between the debugger and the IDE. After connection, the status light should illuminate, indicating that power is available via the USB, and it should turn blue to show that the communication link is active. If you are using a compatible Microchip development board, you might be able to simply connect the PICkit to the board's ICSP connector. The PICkit 4 uses an 8-pin cable, but you can still use this to connect to boards that have the older 6-pin connector. Just leave the last 2 pins of the cable unconnected. If you are using your own hardware, the interface circuitry must meet the PICkit communication specification, as described in the PICkit 4 In-Circuit Debugger User's Guide. Note also that for some devices you might need or might prefer to connect the PICkit to an ICD header via an adapter kit. See the Processor Extension Pack and Debug Header specification to determine if a header is required. The PICkit 4's 8-pin header also allows for future support of advanced interfaces such as 4-wire JTAG and serial wire debug with Streaming Data Gateway interface. The final setup step is to connect a power supply to your target board, as the PICkit 4 can only provide low amounts of power. When using the Programmer to Go functionality, described later, the PICkit 4 can be powered by the target anywhere between 1.2 and 5 volts. Ensure the MPLAB X IDE is running. If you have an existing project, you can configure it to use the PICkit 4 by opening the Project Properties dialog. Click the Configuration category and select PICkit 4 from the list of hardware tools. If you are creating a new project, when you come to the Select Tool step in the New Project dialog, select PICkit 4 from the hardware tool choices. Once you have your project open, review the settings for the PICkit 4 by going to the Project Properties and clicking the PICkit 4 category. Most of the default settings will work with any hardware, but the one setting you must confirm is that for the target board power in the Power Option category. If you are powering the target board directly from a power supply, leave the Power Target Circuit from PICkit 4 option unselected. Enable this option if your target board is powered via the PICkit 4's power supply connection. You can use the PICkit 4 as just a programmer, and as the PICkit matches the device's silicon clocking speed, it enables the fastest possible programming time. Select the Run Project button in the IDE. Your project will be built, programmed into the device, then executed. You can stop execution when desired, but you cannot perform any debugging of the running program using the IDE. The PICkit 4 is often used as a debugger, so you can examine and control program execution. Select Debug Project. Your project will be built and programmed into the device along with a debug executive, which communicates information to the IDE, allowing you to click the Editor gutter to set breakpoints where you would like execution to pause. While the program is suspended, you can view and modify the content of registers, memory, and variables from various views. Other debugger features are described in the PICkit 4's User's Guide. Regardless of whether you use the PICkit as a programmer or debugger, you should never set the device's debug configuration bit in your code. This setting is usually called debug and is automatically set based on the type of build that you select in the IDE. Also note that if you are using the PICkit as a debugger, some of the device resources, such as data and program memory, might be used by the debug executive downloaded by the IDE. Your compiler will ensure that your program avoids reserved memory when debugging, but you should never explicitly allocate objects or code to these addresses. To see a summary of all the resources, go to the MPLAB X IDE Learn and Discover page, click on User's Guide and Release Notes, then click on the link for the reserved resources for PICkit 4. The PICkit 4 also has Programmer to Go functionality that will be enabled by a firmware update after the debugger's initial release. The PICkit 4 has a micro SD card slot that allows a device memory image to be downloaded into the PICkit and later used to program devices using only a USB power source and no additional software or host PC. Programming is initiated by clicking a button just under the PICkit logo. Now it's time to get programming and experience the faster programming speeds offered by the new Microchip PICkit 4.